Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hey, Darla.
Hey, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is our inaugural broadcast of the remote Two Rivers Talks.
Right. This is weird. This is just...
It's a little strange.
I was looking forward to seeing you, but it's like, no, we must, soldier on and continue to do what's best.
In safety.
People free. Yeah, exactly. My God, I've been people free for so long now, and typically I'm okay all by myself. And I realize that I do kind of miss companionship. So, yeah. But this is cool. This works out good.
It is cool. It is cool. For those of you joining us, welcome to Two Rivers Talks. This is the show where we talk about all things going on in this great city of Two Rivers and in Manitowoc County. If you are originally from here, if you are currently from here, if you're thinking about being from here, this is where you're going to get the scoop on all the great stuff that's going on here. You're going to find news, fun, music, art, much, much more. So we're really excited about being able to continue on and bring you the latest news and fun stuff that's happening in the city, because life goes on, right? And we're going to get through all of this. So today is all about current events and stuff that's going on in the community. We've got, I guess some somber things to talk about, obviously, but we're going to try to stay focused on the positive as much as possible. And speaking of fun, I think we'll be starting off with a word of the day.
That's our bright spot.
That is our bright spot. Before we go into that, we are going to also have a segment from Mr. Roger Russove from Main Street Minute. So he's going to do his regular segment, but he's recording that on his own. So he could say anything. We have no idea what he's going to say to us about Main Street. Right.
No, if it's a little blue, I'll just have to bleep them out in a couple places. I can have fun with being creative with Roger.
There we go. I love it.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All right. Well, let's launch into the word of the day. Do you want to do this one, or do you want me to do it?
I want you to take it away with word of the day.
This is so predictable. You like me to kind of see if I'm going to trip over something.
Yeah, I made it easy for you this week.
This one's not bad. So the word of the day today is tantamount. 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 Right. And tantamount means equivalent, as in value, force, effect, or signification. Used in context, his angry speech was tantamount to a declaration of war. So it was equivalent to a declaration of war. So tantamount.
I just like the way the word sounds.
It does sound good. It's
just a neat word. So
yeah,
we'll get back to normal next time that is my goal and hope in life, is to trip you up.
Darla, I don't think we're ever getting back to normal, but that's just us.
Well,
so.
As normal as we can possibly be. So,
very good.
But so let's talk about what's in the news. This is kind of a long piece, so why don't we just flip-flop it back and forth a little bit as we go through it?
Sure.
As everybody knows, Governor Evers issued a safer at home order that will remain in effect until April 24th. The order prohibits all non-essential travel with some exceptions as clarified and defined in the order. And people can follow the link down in our doobly-doo. That'll take them directly to that order, and they could read it verbatim. The order took effect at 8 a.m. on March the 25th and will remain in effect until 8 a.m. Friday, April 24th, or until a superseding order is issued.
And Governor Evers had already ordered that all bars and restaurants close, and to everything except for takeout and delivery. He also ordered that schools be closed statewide. Those restrictions will continue And there are also a couple of new restrictions as well. All public and private gatherings of any number of people that are not part of a single household are now banned.
Right.
Again, just to spread to curb the spread of this thing. Many places where people go to have fun are now off limits. That includes playgrounds, amusement parks, carnivals, water parks, licensed public or private swimming pools, aquariums, zoos, museums, arcades, fairs, children's play centers, theme parks, bowling alleys, movie theaters, concert halls, country clubs, gyms, and fitness centers.
Right, right. Team sports like basketball, ultimate frisbee, soccer, or football are also prohibited. And crowds of 10 or larger are specifically banned at weddings, funerals, and church services.
There are several categories of non-essential businesses which must close. Those include clothing stores, sporting goods stores, bookstores, golf courses, shooting ranges, frisbee golf courses, and malls.
Right. And people, go ahead.
People must at all times, as reasonably as possible, maintain social distancing of at least 6 feet from any other person when they leave their homes.
Right. And a big question is, can you go outside? And the big answer is yes.
Yes.
I know you have to get outside. As for DNR Secretary Preston Cole, we recognize that spending time outdoors benefits both physical and mental health. Getting outdoors can also help relieve stress, and it really does. Just go for a walk.
Yep.
Especially during this public health emergency. A quiet walk does wonders to reduce our anxieties. Absolutely.
So related to this, state parks and trails are, however, remaining open amid the COVID-19 shutdown. In addition, DNR has lifted the state park fees to encourage people to visit.
Right.
Awesome move. Really smart. So while the entrance fees are waived and the parks and restrooms are open, all the state park offices, visitor centers, non-essential buildings, including shelters, are closed for the duration of the public health emergency. All the campsites are closed through April 30th. Refunds will be issued to anyone who made reservations, and no new reservations will be accepted until further notice. But hey, get out, enjoy nature a little bit. You don't have to be around a bunch of people, but just get out and get the fresh air, enjoy the natural surroundings that we're blessed with around here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also want everyone to know that because this was the rumor was going around that they were going to take away your right to go fishing or hunting. It's absolutely false. It's okay to hunt or fish. Just keep your distance, which I think people typically do when they're out fishing anyway.
Yeah, I don't want noisy people around me if I'm trying to fish, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then another thing, too, is that police will not pull you over because of safer at home order. Some people are afraid of even going down to the store because they're afraid they're going to get pulled over. Although some yahoos up in the Green Bay area were impersonating officials and demanding certification papers from complete strangers during bogus safer at home checks. So get out. If you have to go to the pharmacy, if you have to go to the grocery store, you can go, and then just practice safe distancing.
Yeah, I like to think there's a special hell for people that try to take advantage of others during this time, especially those who are less fortunate or weakened immune systems or whatever. Just don't. We're all in this together. So speaking of how we're doing so far, Wisconsin did get graded on its social distancing. And Manitowoc County, here's how they ranked. According to an interactive project by Unicast called the Social Distancing Scoreboard, which looks at GPS location data, focusing on the change in average distance traveled now compared to before the outbreak. Our county scores a B, just missing out on an A rating by a fraction of a percent. So we're doing pretty well. Now Dane County, by comparison, has an A with a 45% change. Rock County is at a C with a 29% change. We all need to get every one of these counties up But we're going to have a link with some more information about that down in the show notes.
Right, right, and it's interesting, and they update it every day. So I found it very helpful, and I also found it. It made me feel good to know that Manitowoc County was doing that well. We missed it by 1/10%, 39.9%. You need a 40 to get an A. So I think we can make it. So
I think we can do it too. Yeah, if we're just a little bit more extra careful, not going around as much. So.
You want me to take the next one?
Yeah, why don't you take this next one? This is interesting.
I found out that, well, I didn't find out because I experienced this. I just happened to read an article. But Costco is refusing to accept returns for toilet paper, which is bad news for panic buying hoarders. Toilet paper was a scarce commodity at the peak of the panic buying madness due to irresponsible hoarders. Now that Costco's around the country are restocked with essential items, the store is putting up signs saying they will not be accepting returns for toilet paper, water, hand sanitizer, and other high-demand items that many people were hoarding for no good reason. Okay, this is interesting. Why were people hoarding toilet paper? Well, according to consumer behavior researcher Kit Yarrow, it's a case of our social primate brains reacting to news feeds full of striking but sometimes disorienting visual clues. It's retail therapy on overdrive. Panic buying during a crisis is nothing new. Midwesterners joke about everyone making apocalypse French toast before a blizzard because store shelves mysteriously empty of bread, eggs, and milk. On the coast, peanut butter is the must-have item every hurricane season. In part, it's reasonable to want to be prepared, says Yarrow, but panic buying is partly an attempt to gain a sense of control when the world feels uncertain and dangerous. And I guess people had TP on their mind, but it just creates a snowball effect. It's like if the shelves are being emptied of toilet paper, even though I'm not going to be one who's hoarding it, I will be somebody who's going to be needing it. So maybe I should go down and get my allotment right now. So it just feeds upon itself. So anyway, if you're stuck with 50 cases of toilet paper, you've got family, friends, I hope, and just share the wealth.
Exactly. It's an interesting story. Interesting comment on our primate brain psychology. So next up in the news, the International Olympic Committee and Japan have agreed to postpone the Tokyo Olympics. So Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan and Thomas Bach, president of the IOC, formally postponed the games, which had been scheduled to begin in late July until 2021. So the decision brought a sense of relief amid impending chaos to international sports. I think this was a smart decision.
It was, and they really it was Japan who was holding out on it. They really did not want to postpone, but you think of all these athletes who train so hard, and do you really want to get them sick? Do you want them exposed? Right. Crowds. And so it was a good decision, and not a surprising one, but it should have been made before now. But there were holdouts.
Yep.
So, now the DNC 2020 leaders are exploring a range of contingency options for coronavirus. Leaders of the July 2020 Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee issued a statement in which they said they are exploring a range of contingency options amid the coronavirus pandemic. The statement, however, it did not spell out what the options are at this point. The Wall Street Journal reported the options mentioned in the calls among organizers and groups involved in planning the event included shortening the 4-day convention by a day, which I don't think that would be helpful, really. You're already going to have a big crowd. Mm-hmm. Or holding a mostly remote event, which seems to be the way politics are starting to go, or at least the election. Mm-hmm. And organizing for such an event remains a massive undertaking. Hold on here. Oh, up to 50,000 people were expected to arrive in Milwaukee from across the United States. Up to 15,000 volunteers are needed, and the local host committee has to raise up to $70 million. Remember when we talked about this with Governor Evers and spotlight it would have put on Wisconsin? You know, it's just falling at a bad time. But it is supposed to be in July, but who knows how long this is going to last?
Well, you know, that's my concern here too. I mean, I think even if things get lifted in May or June, I don't expect a lot of people are going to want to travel or do much. Like even after, you know, the federal government whistles and all clear, I think trust in government is an all-time low for some of this stuff. So
that, and I think people have now realized just how vulnerable we are. You know, we always talked about the cold and flu season and, you know, wash your hands, but it was never, I don't think it really hit home as much as it has now. And honestly, if they were to say, you know, give the all clear tomorrow, I would be very hesitant to go back to my old practices.
Me too. I think, you know, I'm comfortable to be hunkered in here doing remote podcasts with you for the next couple of months, Darla. So you and me in this little box right here.
Yeah. But you're thinking outside the box. I mean, look at, you know, I mean, but look at the technology we have so we can continue to do these broadcasts. And I do want to say thank you very much for the TRBA putting on the candidate forum last night. We used the same setup. You did a spectacular job and it went very, very well. So we are still able to communicate. I really, you know, I just kind of miss some things. And we're what, 2 weeks into this? Yeah. I wonder.
Feels like 2 months in, right?
We're gonna be different people in another 2 weeks or a month or 2 months from now. You know, I mean, you know, stir crazy, but the weather's going to be getting better. We can get outside. You have to keep yourself sane. So.
You do. And by the way, I think you and the other candidates did a terrific job last night. I'm super impressed with the caliber of all of the people running. And yeah, I think it was a great opportunity for the public to meet you guys and see what each of you was all about. And so what kinds of issues you most cared about. So thanks for agreeing to come on the show and do that.
It was great. Really good questions. So totally enjoyed it. You want to take it away with the next one?
Yeah. So, you know, again, related to the COVID-19, there's just been a lot of people that have filed for unemployment. And so Senator Jacques has co-sponsored a bill aimed at suspending unemployment waiting periods. So with the record number of unemployment claims being filed, the senator of De Pere has joined forces with Eau Claire Representative Trig. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Prunchinsky. My apologies, Trig, to create a bill which aims to suspend the waiting period for collection of unemployment insurance benefits. So the state legislators report that nearly 63,000 Wisconsin residents filed unemployment claims in the past week, 12 times the number that filed in the same time frame last year. That's incredible. Currently, the claimant has to wait 1 week after becoming eligible to receive unemployment insurance benefits before they can receive benefits for a week of unemployment. This bill would allow the Secretary of the Department of Workforce Development to suspend the application of the 1 week waiting period for up to 52 weeks during a declared state of emergency as is needed to address the state of emergency. Massachusetts recently approved the same suspension on a bipartisan basis. I think we should too here.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. People need the money now.
Yeah.
For city info, Two Rivers City Council, they have a meeting coming up on Monday, April the 6th at 6 p.m. Location may or may not be council chambers. They might start doing all of their meetings remotely as well.
Yeah.
If it happens to be in the chambers, I doubt if it's going to be open to the public, but I know that there's laws about that. So I'm not sure how they would how they would do that. So we got to stay tuned and stay on top of it to see how this is going to handle committee meetings and city council meetings. You can, this is important. We have, was it on April 7th? We have an election coming up, and they are asking that people request an absentee ballot. My husband and I did this. We received it the very next day and got it out in the mail ASAP. To apply for an absentee ballot, you need to go online and I'm with all of the different websites that I talk about, I will be streaming those, as well as they will be down in the doobly-doo. But you want to go to myvote.wi.gov, and it's very easy to use. And in order to receive an absentee ballot for the April 7th election, your application must be received no later than April 2nd. So you've got a little bit of time right now, but go to that website and get your ballot.
I just put it down in the here.
Oh, that is so cool.
I'm starting to get okay at the yard. We're getting there, right?
So I don't even have to worry about it.
There you go.
Right, you're going to be typing your little fingers off here in a minute.
Oh, no. What have I done?
Do you want to talk about WEDC?
Yeah. WEDC, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, announced targeted grants to small businesses that are suffering losses due to the coronavirus emergency. You can get that information by going to wedc.org for more information. A lot of I'm going to take these next ones too, because they're all kind of related. There are micro and small business loans available through WBIC, which is the Women's Business Initiative Corporation. So you can get that by going to their website for more information. And then the Small Business Administration Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program is also accepting Wisconsin applications. So that's SBA. So you can get to that by going to disasterloan.sba.gov for that information. And there's also a COVID-19 Small Business Impact Grant at edbcwisconsin.org for that information. And then I also believe that Kiva is doing small business loans for up to $15,000. So I remember I just put that up on the TRBA page a day or two ago. Okay. So there's a variety of resources out there for small businesses. Again, we're going to try to keep all the links down in the description as well, but definitely go and check those out. Right.
And we want to give you an update as to the different departments in the city, what's open, what's closed. City Hall is, until further notice, public access to City Hall will be limited to the public areas of the first floor. Access to other areas of the building are by appointment only. And I know for down on the first floor, if you need to go to the police department, you can go ahead and go to their window. And then they are asking that utility payments be mailed in or dropped off in the little mailbox. They want to avoid having people at their customer service desk. Mm-hmm. I think that for voting, there's going to be people who don't take advantage of the absentee balloting, and voting can still happen there and at other places. But go to their website and they'll be able to get you updated as to what you can and cannot do.
Very good. So the recycling center, it has suspended the electronics recycling program, compost sales, and similar services to residents and businesses until further notice. The main office is going to be closed to everybody except commercial and municipal haulers until the direction is given that it's safe to reopen.
Right. And we do have an update from area healthcare providers. Aurora Healthcare and Holy Family Memorial have call centers open at this time. These numbers should be called prior to calling 911 or going to the ER if you have a cold or flu symptoms. The Aurora COVID-19 hotline is 866-443-2584. Holy Family Memorial Hotline is area code 920-320-3333. And those will be down in our show notes.
And if you are a healthcare worker or you've got a healthcare worker in your life, that, thank them for what they do. Those of you that are out there in the front lines, we can't imagine how hard you're working or going to be working, through this time. And you are not taken for granted. You are appreciated. And, I think we're going to have to do a lot to support you going forward.
Oh, absolutely. I feel so bad for them because they really are working their tails off and working under some pretty strict conditions. And, skin is your first line of defense, but your second line of defense is all these healthcare workers, and so bless them. And I hope that people are giving them a lot of support because they truly deserve it.
As do I. Yeah. I hope that they get the support they need. The 2020 census is coming up here. The census results are going to help determine how billions of dollars in federal funding flow into states and communities each year. So for more information, you can go to 2020census.gov.
Right. The Leicester Public Library. All programs and services are canceled. The library is closed to public access. The book drops will remain open 24/7. However, all fines are suspended until June the 1st. So keep your books and movies for a while. I know. Rewatch and stay healthy.
That's great. The community house, public access there, including the Fit Center, is also suspended until further notice. Sorry, guys. All private rentals at the community house between March 16th and April 6th also canceled. Staff is in the process of contacting renters. So if you're one of them, you will receive a full refund.
I have got a really dry tickle in my throat.
Yeah.
I just hope people don't think I'm coming down with something horrible, but it's like, oh my God, what's going on? But it's just like this dryness. So because I've been people free for a long time.
I'm paranoid about coughing outdoors anymore. But like I have hay fever and like a deviated septum. So like I'm coughing and sniffling all the time. And it's just so like even if I had it, I wouldn't know, if it was just coughing, like it would have to be like the fever and the other stuff, the other symptoms and things that you get with it.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I have to apologize. And of course it's worse because I'm doing this broadcast,
yes.
But it's almost like you're afraid to cough because you don't want people looking at you like, oh my God, typhoid Mary,
Plague.
Yeah, really. So I'm just going to continue drinking my water and just doing my thing. The senior center, it is closed to the public until further notice. This includes suspension of the on-site senior nutrition program. The trust car service is also suspended. However, delivery on Meals on Wheels will continue. And I did see a post where they are looking for people to volunteer to be drivers, because typically the drivers that they have, or the volunteers that they have to be the drivers, are elderly, and those are the people who should not be out and having public contact. So go over to their website, and if they're still looking and you're so inclined, volunteer to be a Meals on Wheel driver.
I think it's such an essential service. I know some of the folks from Rotary volunteer their time for that as well, and back in Pittsburgh, my folks get it, and it's a life-saving program. So it's just critical that we take care of those who are the most vulnerable among us. Two Rivers Parks and Rec, all programs and classes, big surprise, suspended until further notice. However, registration for spring and summer rec programs, leagues, and events commencing after April 6th are still being taken via mail and online. So there's that. And then also Two Rivers Public Schools. Schools must stay closed until at least April 6th per the governor's order. I think that's going to be through the 24th now or something like that.
Oh, was it extended?
I think this stuff has all been extended, but we'll get the info for sure.
Okay, yeah, please do, because things change on a daily basis.
They do. They do.
And so I was trying to update this for the last week, so I might have missed that.
Arrangements are being made for at-home and online schoolwork, bit of an adjustment for some. Plans are also being made to provide meals for students with curbside pickup at designated locations.
Okay. Now, for further updates, watch the city's website at 2-rivers.org, as well as the Two Rivers City Hall Facebook page for further updates. And also a list of restaurants that are still operating. Follow the link in our show notes to find out the availability of delicious local fare from your favorite Two Rivers restaurants.
There's a lot of great places still open, including the place that replaced Luigi's. Is it Artie's? Yeah, I haven't been over there yet. Have you tried any of their stuff?
I haven't, and I think that tonight, well, they're not open for dinners. I think I'm going to try them tomorrow because, to be quite honest with you, I'm sick of cooking. I just am, and I want to patronize our local restaurants. But I had noticed that what was it? Was it yesterday that Two Rivers had ordered from them, or the City Hall, Two Rivers City Hall had ordered in from them. So from what I hear, they're pretty darn good.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And for those of you that are seeing this and live in the area here, please keep your local businesses in mind. Like, don't go to a freaking Walmart and get your stuff. If you can buy here locally, that's supporting the local economy here and is helping these small businesses stay operational. I know a lot of them have kind of shut down, but many of them have tried to change up their model a little bit. They have curbside pickup. They've got takeout. There's gift certificates available. They're trying to do special things just to kind of get the word out. Please help them stay in business because we're going to come out on the other side of this, and we want to keep the city as intact as we can, going through this difficult time. So I think you can get a list of all of the open takeout businesses anyways on the Two Rivers Main Street site. And I'm sure Roger's going to make a plug for this in his segment, but I just wanted to say it too. I think it's very, very important as much as we can to stay local. Just two other quick notes for me before we wing out of here and switch over to Mr. Russove. Two Rivers Biz Starts, although it is a library program, it is continuing. We're going to keep doing online support calls and coaching sessions for small business owners each month, or if you just want a coaching session one-on-one, just reach out to me. You can either get me through the Two Rivers Talks website or through the Two Rivers Talks Facebook page, the Biz Starts Facebook page. There's a lot of ways to get in touch with me. Just Google my name. I'll get back to you. I'm very responsive. But especially if you're going through a tough time or you're looking for resources or you don't know where to start, I could try to at least talk you down off the ledge from the difficult situation you're in. I'm not a miracle worker, but at least I may know some resources to point you towards. So our next scheduled meeting is going to be Wednesday, the 22nd of April at 6 p.m. I'm hoping we're on the other side of this evil by then, and things are, cases are decreasing. If we're fortunate. But it's going to be a group therapy session. Maybe we'll make it a virtual wine fest or something like that. But I hope you're able to come for that. We did have one just this Wednesday, and a couple people showed up, and we talked a bit about marketing and resources that are available. And it was a good session. We had a good time. And then the last thing is that the Two Rivers Business Association, because we typically have first Thursday of the month a live meeting. Obviously, we're not gathering for that. We may end up holding a virtual session if some members express interest around that. I'm more than happy to spin something up around it. I think it would be good for the community to continue to stay together and communicate with each other during this tough time.
I think so. And I think people are going to be ready for the camaraderie, even though it is remote. And just doing this, it's kind of therapeutic. Yeah. So I'm really glad we were able to get together today, even though we're not in the same room. It's almost as good.
Virtual hug.
I love you. So up next is going to be Mr. Roger Russove, with a Main Street Minute. And I'm not going to have to bleep him out. I have complete faith that he can control himself.
He can keep it clean. No problem at all.
Awesome. All right, so we will be right back.
Hello, everyone. This is going to be kind of a different take on the Main Street Minute here on Two Rivers Talks. I'm Roger Russove, the Executive Director of Main Street, and we're recording this remotely now due to the fact that, of course, the governor has encouraged people to stay at home and social distancing and things like that. We're right in the middle of that now. Started a few days before this recording. And what I'd like to do is just give you a little bit of an update on some things that are going on in the city of Two Rivers, downtown and with the businesses. The first thing I'll mention is that most of the restaurants in Two Rivers are still open for curbside pickup and delivery. And obviously a lot of them have seen a big decrease in business due to the fact that they had to close their dining rooms about a week ago. Please support them any way you can if the opportunity arises for you to visit a restaurant for delivery or order from a restaurant for delivery, or want to take something home and want to do curbside pickup, please do that. We do have a listing as up to date as we can keep it on our website at tworiversmainstreet.com of the restaurants in the city of Two Rivers, not just downtown, the whole city, that are offering curbside pickup and or delivery right now, what their hours are. There's phone numbers there so you can call up and order, as well as links to either websites or Facebook pages so that you can look up menus and things like that. In fact, we do have links to menus on there, and you can check for updated hours and things too. So please support the restaurants here in town. They, like a lot of other businesses, are struggling a little bit and trying to figure out what their place is in what's going on in the community right now, and they could use your support. We do have other retail businesses that are open right now. Businesses that were on the list that was deemed essential by the governor's order. Obviously, grocery stores are part of that. Convenience stores are part of that. And we have a lot of other businesses, frankly, that are willing to work with you on a curbside pickup, even not for food, or even deliveries to your home. Again, if you check out Facebook for a specific business, if you need something, visit the Main Street website and look at the business listings. We have contacts for businesses there, and please contact those businesses and support them any way you can right now. If you don't need anything right now, it'd be great to pick a couple businesses and just buy a gift card that you can use later. The businesses would appreciate the support, and these are trying times for the business owners, and the business owners personally would appreciate it too. Other than that, we had a wine walk scheduled for Friday, May 14th, our spring wine walk, and we have made a decision at this point to postpone that. We are hoping to hold it in mid-June, but we do not know that for sure. As we have further information regarding the date, we will definitely pass it on to you. The next major event in downtown Two Rivers, of course, for Main Street, is the Cool City Classic Car Show and Cruise. At this time, it is our intent to hold that event on the date that it's scheduled. But as everybody very well knows going through this, this is a time of change, and that decision could change at any time. We'll keep you posted here through Main Street's social media outlets, as well as Main Street's website, to let you know exactly what's going on with something like that. Boy, this, I gotta say, this is really tough to do without Todd and Darla here. I'm sure you're getting bored to death just staring at me. But this is where we're at right now, and I hope you appreciate the information. Thank you for listening and watching this today. And if you have any questions, I am working remotely from home, but you can call the Main Street office at 794-1482 with any questions you may have, or send us an email at office@tworiversmainstreet.com. We will be updating information on our website as often as possible so we can keep you posted on what's going on in the community. And again, let us know if you have any questions or there's anything we could do for you as an organization. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe.